Greetings, Minecrafters! Welcome back to episode 2 of the FTOG Avant 3 server, playing Minecraft 1.10. That's right, these are new mods, and some of the old ones that have been updated. And as you can see behind me, I've been playing with one. Let's get started with Psy. Yes, Psy. I like this mod. Ew, I'm walking on air. As you can see down there, we've got the two pieces that you need to start out with. Let's come down here and bring up Psy. We have the CAD assembler and the spell programmer. You need the CAD assembler first, which is a piston and some iron. Pretty easy. And then the spell assembler, well, you need this Psy dust. So you can't make that right away. But the CAD assembler, it's got all sorts of stuff in it. What does this do? Well, you need to make some of these pieces. Actually, you really just need to make one, and that is this up here, the iron CAD assembly. CAD is Casting Assistant Device. This mod looks like technology, but it reads like magic. So it's somewhere in between. But this is just for iron. It's very easy. You take this and you slap it into this middle slot, and then you pull it out of up here, and you get a casting assistant device. You don't get this one. I think I've got that original one in here. No, this one. Let's pull this guy out. That's what it looks like. It's a little handgun. It doesn't do much. Oh, I've got the other in my inventory. Let's go ahead and toss that out. You can only have one at a time. So it's not doing anything right now. Does it have... Yeah, it doesn't have anything. But if I go and get a piece of redstone... Actually, I'm probably going to need a bunch, so let's get 16. We're going to chuck that out here and go zap. And now we have Psydust. It has been turned into Psydust. Now we can make this guy the spell programmer. It just needs one of the side dusts. I don't know why it's showing the little red 0. It does that for some of the dusts in this pack. But now, having made that, we need to upgrade this casting assistant device. So when we placed the main housing in here, these were all empty. Now we need to do it again, but with stuff. So we can put it in our crafting table and turn it back into that assembly. And we can chuck it in there, like so. We want to add other things to it. We need one of these, which is a socket. Now there's a bunch of different levels. Can't make level 2 because it requires Psy metal, but we can make a level 1, which uses Psy dust and 2 iron. So we'll make one of those and toss it in there. We also need a CAD core. Again, level 2 requires the metal, so we can only make level 1, which does the dust. So we can make that. Toss one of those in there. So that's that one and that one. This is for colors. Or this is for colors. And this one is for something I haven't researched yet. Where is it? It's the batteries. Yeah, the batteries. Not sure what they do yet. Overflow. I wonder if that protects you from going over your limit. I'm guessing that's what it is. I may have to try making one and see. I can make the top tier one. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you put those in there and you pull out your gun. And then you can... That was noisy. And then you can put it over here, and the 4 of these slots will open up. Now, I didn't put anything in there with it. I didn't have one of these little sockets, so I don't have any socket slots in this gun. But I do have the one that I did make just as we're talking about. So let's pull this one out and toss it in here. Now it's got some slots. So this one has the iron CAD assembly, the basic CAD core, basic CAD socket, basic CAD battery. That is a basic first level casting assistant device, a CAD. It looks like a gun, so we'll call it a gun. Into here is what you put bullets. And basic type is a basic spell bullet, which is a piece of iron and a sawdust. Fairly cheap. I don't have any in this gun right now, but I did upgrade my gun as I progressed. And I've got a bit more advanced version right here, which has psi metal CAD assembly. I can make psi metal. An overclocked CAD core, a signaling CAD socket, no battery, no colorizer. And that one's got some bullets in it, which if I toss into here, you can see I've got more slots. Got 6 slots. And I filled it in with a few bullets. And a couple of them are different types. This first one, that shouldn't be an infusion spell, but I think it was just when I was going through the tutorials, it ended up being on there. But that one, because of the shimmering texture to it, is a bullet that repeats. What's it called? Loop cast. This one is a projectile, and then all the rest are just normal bullets. Normal bullets work pretty well. Let's take that out. Now, if you notice, we've got this sparkly roof up here. And how are we doing that? Well, let's show you a few things you can do with this mod. Conjure block. There we go. Conjure another one. And they sort of have a connected texture to them. Like that. If you call it a texture, it's really just particles. Now I've written this spell so that it places it in the air if I want to. I could be flying in the air and hit it and it'll place a block. Which is pretty nice. Now anything will break these with one hit. You can just do it with your hand, whatever. They're very easy to break. Great for temporarily, nerd pulling your way up somewhere. Does the same thing as an angel block for me. And makes it very easy to do things like this floor. If I come up here and just start going like this. Oh, targeted that. See? Very nice. It's one of my handy spells. Another one I like. Break block sequence that I've got going on here. Great for trees. I like that. Let's replant these two. Dump the remainder. So even the big trees, it makes short work of. Just sort of fun. It's also, that same spell is great for mining. Let's go down to the mine and show you what it's like down in there. I haven't brought you down here before. I've been doing more. Here I was trying to use it for actual mining, and it sort of makes a mess. But, I'll have to fill all this. I'll make a fill spell, too. Anyway, for mining, since it does 4 blocks, starting with the one you click on, just great for hallways. But I switched back to a regular pick just to do targeted mining like that. But yeah, this is pretty good. Now, if you notice over on the side of my screen, over on the right side, there is a meter when I'm holding the gun. And it's at 5,000 right now because I've leveled all the way up. Now watch as I shoot. It goes down each shot, and then it pauses, and then after a moment it starts filling back up again. Now I've got it filling back up pretty quickly because again I've leveled up all the way. But has that cooldown period before it starts to refill. Still, there's no other fuel or anything for this, so I can keep doing this all day. No durability. It's just that easy. By the time I place the torch and pick up the blocks, it's full up again and I can keep digging. So I really like it as a way to mine. Might as well get anything that's left. Is that it? Looks like it. See, that's the mining spell. What else we got in here? Ah, smelt item. Yeah, let's show you smelt item. Much nicer. Technically, it's not smelt item. I did the smelt item in there first, and then I changed it to smelting blocks, and that's pretty nice. It's what I use to clean up the walls of the hole up here, and it's also how I made the glass wall around here. I just put sand along it, and then came back and shot it all to bake it into glass. It doesn't work when smelting turns a block into an item, like this would turn into charcoal. It doesn't work on that. Another thing I like is Overgrow. Let's say I want some string. I got 26 string. Wait for it to fill up again. Almost a stack. Very nice. Another thing I really like. See, I think that's it that I've got so far in here. Conjure block, block sequence, smelt, and then infusion is what turns the redstone into sawdust. Also turns the gold into psi metal, and there's a greater infusion, which I don't have right now, that will turn diamonds into psi diamonds, or whatever they're called. So yeah, that's the sort of thing you can do with this, and I really like it. I really am having fun with this. Now here is how you do that. It's a programming language made out of little tiles. And when you look at it, you say, oh, that looks very complicated. And at times it can be a little hard to get exactly what you want. And there's various different ways to do everything, like there always is with a good programming language. But you can get some pretty good stuff even being very simple. This is the Overgrow spell right here, which I could have done in a different way, but I had another spell and I just reused part of it. And that is, the way it reads here is, this is Selector Caster. That's me. You see the little yellow arrow here. That is sending the entity that is me in these two directions. This one here is the entity's position. So it takes an entity and returns a position, X, Y, Z. This is called a vector because it's the three numbers. A vector can be either a position or a direction away from a position. A direction away from is defined as going away from 0, 0, 0, but a lot of these things take both a position and a vector, and it says, all right, this is the position, and this is the direction away from that position I want to use. And that's what we're going to do here. So we take me, get my position, and then the little blue arrow sends it down to this guy. And me take the direction I'm looking and send it over to this guy. So if I click him, you see blue is coming from the top, green is coming from the left, and that's the ray, the direction that it's going to shoot out a ray from my head in the direction I'm looking, and this has got a little purple dot in the middle, which means it's optional. So I did not set a max. So it'll go as far as it can, which is, I think, 32 blocks. And when it hits a block, it'll take the position of that block. And if I hold over here and hold down Shift, you can see the input position vector, input ray vector, optional input max number, and the output is vector that points in the opposite direction. So this has a vector that it's outputting. Down here we have Overgrow, which it says basically it's going to do a bone meal, but where is it going to do it? It needs a position. And it's grabbing it from the north, or the top above it, a blue arrow. It's grabbing it from here, which is the position of the block that this ray cast hit. It basically shoots out a ray from my head in the direction I'm looking and hits a block, and then the position of that block is available. And this one pulls it out from above and does bone meal there. Hopefully that you could follow that. If you can, you could probably do quite a bit with this mod. And there are a lot, as I've got 5 pages of little icons here. And if you think, oh, how will I ever understand what all these do? You don't get them until you understand what they do, because there's a tutorial. Let me show you. With no gun in my hand, no cat in my hand, I hit C, the default. And you've got 24, actually there's more than 24, because some, like 11 here, there's multiple. But you have a whole bunch of tutorial levels to go through, and you start with 1. I think 24 is wrapped around because I've gone through all of them. But tutorial 1, it gives you a whole bunch of text that you could and maybe should read, especially if you're a little curious about what's going on here. And then it gives you some of these little tiles. And it requires that you make a spell and cast it using the first one, the one with a little red underlining to it. Like this one is debug. It just prints something out to the chat window. Like if you give it a position, it'll print out those 3 numbers, X, Y, and Z, to the chat window. It's good for debugging, which is why it's in there, and why it's one of the first ones they teach you. And then it also gives you the selector caster, the me. So basically, you can write a spell. Let's go in here. That's Command-Shift-Delete. There's a whole bunch of hotkeys. If you hit this, hold Shift. There we go. There's a whole bunch of shortcut keys to control this thing. I actually haven't read through all of them. Ooh, upload to Imager, upload to Reddit. Huh. Anyway, yeah, let's get the caster. Caster. I think it's on 3rd page now. No? 2nd page. There it is, right in the middle. So that's me. And then I get the debug. Now you can actually type in debug. Now see, if I left click here on selector or caster, if I right click a space, it lets me select what's going to go into that space. But if you left click, it both highlights it and gives you information about that one. Now the caster doesn't need anything. It's just outputting an entity, me. It's just making it available in this spot. This guy needs a target, which is an entity, which if you hold over it here, it says target any. So actually it'll take just about anything. It optionally takes a number as well. Not going to give it that at the moment. But we need it to get the target, and it could take a target from any of the 4 spaces around it. We want it to take from this one on its left, so we click the left. And now we got the little blue arrow saying it's going from this caster into the debug. And now it's done. It looks compilation successful. And it gives you a bunch of stats based on your weapon, your CAD. It's basically the upper limits are what your CAD is capable of doing, and what you're capable of doing. In this case, this doesn't cost anything because nothing's actually happening. So it costs no psi power. Its complexity is 1, which I think is the caster, probably. Potency is 0, doesn't do anything. Projection, it doesn't really have any trick. This is a trick, debug, but debug is a free trick, so it doesn't really count. And bandwidth is how much of this space you can use. I can use up to 7, so I can't use the outer rim. Well, it doesn't matter where in the table it is. If I do it, I can start from this corner and work out, but I couldn't go past here. If I started in the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. But this is a functional spell. Now I leave the table. How do I get that into my CAD? One way is to toss your CAD in here, take out one of the bullets, and right-click the bullet on the table, and put it back in. Another way, which you have to be careful with, is if you hold down C with the gun in your hand, the CAD in your hand, you can select the one you want to program. So my cursor is over the debug one over here. I let go of C. Now I crouch right-click it, and it's been programmed onto that bullet. Now if I shoot, it happened multiple times because that is... Oh, I have to move away. There we go. Did I just dupe it? No. That was weird. Yeah, because that I put it on a bullet that repeats. Until you move away from the weapon. Till you switch to a different tool or empty hand or something. That's why it printed out so many of what it was printing out. But it prints out... basically me, Nonsanity, and information about me, where I am, some ID number specific to me. Now, I can move the caster over and replace it with this guy, Operator Entity Position. Now, it's got little red exclamation points because it doesn't have what it needs. It needs a target. It's going to grab it from me. Me as an entity, it needs a target entity. And it's going to output a vector. And then this thing is still inputting from the left, but now instead of getting me, it's getting this vector, my location. So actually, let me make a regular bullet. That'll just be easier than using this repeating bullet, which I really don't want to use. There we go. Regular bullet. And toss it into my gun. I'm just going to take this repeating bullet and stash it away for a little while. Alright, so now it just happens once. Oh, and Toddy said something. Oh, what's... Storage crates from Actually Editions. I'm using Easy Storage 2. It's sweet. Anyway, you can see every time I fire here, it gives me my position. I move, it gives me different numbers. Like so. So you can see how this whole system works. And you can have it do things as well, instead of just printing something out. Let's see. Let's just look at the tricks. Trick. What can we do? We can move something. We can start a fire. We can teleport something. We can break a block. We can break a sequence of blocks. Collapse a block, which is like making sand fall. A conjure block, which is what my ceiling is made out of. Conjure block sequence, you can get a whole bunch of them at once. Conjure light. This should make a light where my head is. Let's load it up on the bullet. Oop. That was different. Oh, I didn't link it up. Position. There we go. So, there we go. Bling. And there's a light. That will not go away. Very nice. Now it's putting it where my head is. I want to be able to shoot them onto walls. Let's do that. So instead of using... Let's see, let's delete that one. And put it down here instead. Let's see. There it is, Conjure Light. So we're going to do that same group of 4 that I did before. Me, my position. Me... what I'm looking at. There we go. And take the position of my head and the direction of my looking and shoot out a ray. There it is. And whatever it hits, that's the position. Now that's not going to work actually. But let's demonstrate it not working at least. Take the position from above and the ray from the left. And this guy takes the position from the left. There we go. So it should make it on... but it doesn't. Why is it not working? The reason is I'm telling it to make it in this block. It can't. There's a block there. Huh. So instead it was making it where my head was. Or is it making it behind me? No, yeah, it's making it where my head is. Because it can't make it where it's supposed to. That's an interesting bug, I guess. So that's probably not the best way to do that. This works great for smelting blocks, because that's the block I actually want to target, is the block I'm looking at. But I want to look on the surface of the block. I'm sure there's a simplistic way to do that, but I don't know it offhand. I've only been playing with this since yesterday. Operator entity axial look. Gets an entity's look vector aligned to an axis. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Entity look. Motion vector. Position. Yeah, I'm surprised there. Well, so we have the vector raycast. Let's just type in ray. Yeah, we just have the axial raycast and the regular. This one locks it to the cardinal directions: north, south, east, west, up, down. It won't go diagonal. This one will go diagonal. There's a block broken side, but that doesn't help. I'm not sure what the right thing is. Let me stop and find out, because this is something we should all know. So, I'll be right back. Hello from the future. Well, the next day at any rate. Yeah, I didn't have time to record more after I looked this up, but yeah, there isn't a dedicated tile for this. But what we can do is take the caster and do the same entity position and entity look we had before. But now we want to pipe out. This is a left side operator, so it's like this one here. So it pulls it from the left. And this one is a top side, it pulls it from the top. And over here we have our vector raycast that we had before. It also is getting both the entity look and the entity position. But we have this vector axis raycast. This was the other raycast we were just looking at. As it says, it gets the localized raycast's side axis. So it tells you which side of the block you hit with the ray. if we put onto that a debug, like so, and attach it to the side. Now we shoot at the wall. You can see it says 001. And we are facing this. This is walking forward. The Z is going down. So it's the opposite of the direction we're facing. And that's exactly what we want. It has a 1 in the side that it's the opposite of what we're facing. By adding the two together, which we do down here with a vector sum, it takes the two of them, adds them together. That takes the position of the block, subtracts one block from it back towards me, and that's where I want to put the block, and that's where it puts the light. So this is the final spell, so I can go around and get rid of these torches. And let's see, let's put them 2 blocks out. I got it right? Yeah. There we go. Now this I should be able to send lights quite far away. Up to 32 blocks, so I should be able to hit that. Yep, there we go. I probably can't hit the hillside. Yeah, it's too far away. Can hit the shore. So I'm going to replace some of these lights. I can't break it with that. This one over here. There it is. And one hiding over here. One there, and that is it. No more torches. But yeah, I really like... Oop. Can't right click with that. Harvest all my crops. And I might get something from Root Mod, which is another one I want to start on. I was reading about it a little bit today. Lots of string. Good. So I still don't have any sheep. And I should have some more of these. I can finish planting what I got. That's good enough. Again, this little base area is just temporary. I got over a stack of string. Nice. I'm going to put these torches away. I don't need to carry them around anymore. Let's move my backpack into slot 8. And I should rename this spell to be light. Oops. There we go. So I have light, smelt item, which I can't change the name of. That's a projectile, but I could do sort of what I did with these in the same way. Conjure block, break block sequence, and overgrow. Pretty good. I think what I'll probably do is make multiple copies of these tables eventually. That way I can have all of my main spells up and editable for the future. But I don't need to do that right now. And I probably don't even have the necessary materials to do it. So let's see. Root. I have a root in here. I remember seeing, I picked up an old root. There it is. I think you need to use that There we go. With a stone and some seeds. I do have some seeds. There they are. And I should have a stone. Yep. Let's craft that up. There we go. Runic Tablet. Now this is the manual for the root mod. It has 3 pages. And we can do all sorts of stuff. Let's see here. Need to make a bark knife. Oak wood sticks. That'll get us bark. We'll need some of that. The roots of magic. You find the old roots just breaking tall grass. Growth powder. I don't really need that. I've got my gun. Mutation powder, that's a nether star, that's for much later. This explains where the berries are coming from when they're harvesting leaves, where the leaves are despawning. Roots adds all these berries. There's a rooty stew. And the verdant sprig. That's what I want to get. I think does it say it in here? It probably said it back in one of those. Oh, here we go. Old roots can be found, 1 in 40 chance breaking tall grass. Verdant sprigs drop 1 in 30 chance when harvesting fully grown crops of all kinds. So, I think if I bring this into Overgrow... Oh, there's still some drops over here in the corners. And I just go... Did I get any? No, I did not. Well, let's try again. Alright, well I grew a lot of wheat, but it didn't work. So let's move on and do one of the next things in the mod. And that is make a mortar and pestle. So there's the mortar. That goes on the ground. And the pestle is made out of diorite. That gets you the pestle. And then if we make some stone bricks, and what is the... No. What is the recipe? Crack stone and smelting. I can make a chisel. Chiseled stone bricks. Let's make a chisel real quick. I think that's just a piece of iron and a stick. There we go. Chisel. Chisel. Stone bricks. Chiseled stone bricks. Alright, so that's 1 chiseled stone brick, 2 planks, 2 sticks. I thought that was it. Let's check the book. The imbuing a staff. Chiseled... Oh, it's oak wood, not planks. That's my mistake. Not oak. Planks, but oak. There we go. Alright, put away this chisel. I'm sure I'll use it later. So let's put down the mortar, I'll say here, and the imbuer next to it. And now, let's see what we can make. Well, actually, I'm missing too many things still. I planted more crops, and as one of the pop-ups probably said, you really have to break the crop when it's fully harvested like this in order to get, oh, there it is, a verdant sprig. A verdant sprig. So you can't do the right-click harvest, which leaves the seeds planted. You actually have to do a full old-school break-it type harvesting to get a chance at the verdant sprigs. And I need to go around and get more old roots, which means breaking tall grass. But thankfully, with the overgrow, I've got plenty of chances to do that. That and a sickle, and I can get probably a pretty good number of old roots pretty quickly. So we'll come back to this mod. In the meantime, I wanted to try making... you can see I've got another table down here, but I won't when we switch back to the video, because I'm filling this in after. Hey, I can edit again. Can't edit when I'm live streaming. I wanted to make a weapon version of this thing, something I can use against mobs. Since I've got it in my hand, it'd be really nice to use it instead of a sword in some way. So I set out to try and do that, but I ran into a problem, so let's jump to that scene. Okay, we're running out of time here, but I do have something of a damage spell, but I just found out it might not be a good idea to use it on this server. Anyway, here it is. We have the regular group of 4 here of caster, position, look, and raycast to get what I'm looking at, what block I'm looking at currently. That becomes the focal point for getting nearby enemies with a radius of 10. So wherever I'm looking, and then around that point for 10 blocks. So I can look pretty far away and get all the entities around 10 blocks around that. One of them, randomly chosen, gets its position, and then it gets smited. Unfortunately, while this is great for taking out noisy zombies in nearby caves, here, he's dead. I found out that let me bring up the chat. Blood magic? The thunder, without rain. Oh, can you all hear that, I said. Thor says, yeah, it's server side. Well, that sucks. It's going to be my main weapon. So basically, everybody on the server, and we've got 3 other people right now, and many of them might be recording, all hear every time I push the trigger on that spell. Not good. I may have to go with the fire, or maybe the wither effect. But those aren't as rapid as the lightning. I think I still may keep the lightning gun as a fallback weapon and just make a regular sword or something like that. So when I'm in a pickle, I can bring down the wrath of the gods with my little sci-fi handgun. Otherwise, I'll stick to more stealthy methods of attack. Thanks for watching. If you look at the mod list for this pack, go find it on the Curse launcher. There's a link in the description. If you find it, look down the mods and see something in there, either a mod or a particular element to one of the mods that you think I might like. Get excited about. Maybe I've missed it. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, we'll see what we're going to do in this series. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out as the moon rises over the pear trees, almost. Take care, be good, and see you next time.